This morning, in the fourth day of the State versus Hannah Gutierrez read, she was the armorer on the set of Rust where Alec Baldwin fatally shot cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Today, the first witness was the medical examiner, though it is a slightly different title in New Mexico, who went through what caused the death of Helena Hutchins, which was determined to be gunshot wound. She also determined that the manner of death was accident and gave a definition for why. I was surprised by that this morning. Generally, when you have a gunshot wound or a fatal shooting where the gun does not accidentally go off, but somebody pulls the trigger, that manner of death from most coroners would be a homicide. She acknowledged that a lot of coroners would probably consider this a homicide, but based on her definition of manner of death as a homicide, this did not fit. She believed that this was best qualified as an accident. I was surprised by that, but that was her determination as a medical examiner, so it was ruled an accident. The medical examiner's determination of the manner of death doesn't really impact the prosecution's decision to go forward on this case. This is an involuntary manslaughter, so it's not completely inconsistent. Involuntary manslaughter is an accident that is being charged criminally because somebody was reckless in the thing they were doing. Involuntary manslaughter allows for a legal action, a lawful action done recklessly to be charged, and that's what we're seeing here. We also got into a weapons expert who brought in not a replica, he called it a brother gun of the gun that was used on set to demonstrate to the jury the different positions with the hammer of the gun, how it would fire, and said that this weapon on set could not have fired unless the hammer on the gun was all the way back and the trigger was pulled. That was his expert testimony. We also heard from briefly somebody who did a cell phone extraction with text messages back and forth between Hannah and Becca, the relevance of which we don't know yet. It was not explained. It was foundational information. I wonder if we will see percipient or eyewitnesses in the afternoon like we did yesterday. So far this afternoon on day 4, we are now with the lead investigator on the Rust case, State versus Hannah Gutierrez, the armorer on the set of Rust when Alec Baldwin fatally shot cinematographer Helena Hutchins. We've seen her body cam footage where she starts talking to the lead investigator about how she has just, everything is fucked up. She has fucked it up. She's the only female armorer in the game, and she's fucked it up, that she was trained by her dad. And she's really going through, like, how did this happen? This is fucked up. We then get into her police interview in the interrogation room after she is Mirandized. And some of the things that stand out in that interview is she's talking repeatedly about checking all of the rounds. All of them shook, which seems contradictory to earlier in her interview where she said one of them had a hole in the side, so it wouldn't have shaken. It would have had a visual bored hole in it. But she also says, I wish I would have checked them more. She also says there's always the possibility, and this is me paraphrasing, there's always the possibility of there being safety issues or concerns on set. And quote, that's what I'm supposed to look out for. So she is acknowledging that it is her job to stop these things from happening in the interview. They also ask her about the camera crew walking off. Could somebody have been mad? She talks about it's a movie set. We work 12-hour days, 7 days a week. We're all a little pissed off with each other, but I don't think anybody's that mad. And she's going and explaining why she doesn't think there was sabotage on this set, including 45 rounds at this time are very hard to get and very expensive. And as she is summarizing all those things, she's really telling law enforcement why she doesn't think this was sabotage and landing on the conclusion for her that this is just a really fucked up accident. And that really does summarize what I've seen in the evidence on case 2, that a lot of people were reckless and negligent in doing their jobs, leading to this accident happening. And that's where we're at as we come back from the court break in the middle of day 4. For deep dives into the stories that I covered here, you can find them on my YouTube channel at The Emily D. Baker and The Emily Show podcast. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. The podcast goes live on Wednesdays. And if you want to stay in the loop with everything I'm doing, receive the fastest notifications out there, and get more Law Nerd community, join me at lawnerdapp.com, our free app for iOS and Android.